All right, guys, so let's take a look at one of these labs. My other video is in coding. It's finishing its thing. Let me share my screen here and have us take a look at one of the hands-on labs. Now, the hands-on labs are, as I said, really good, and some people really don't like them much because in let me just express to you what's going to happen. Those hands-on labs will go through a process and they'll show you exactly what to do. And you're going to do Windows ones and you're going to do Linux ones. And all the Linux ones, even though Linux has a graphical interface, and it's predominantly what I use when I use Linux, the command line is what they put you at, and lots of people are not familiar with that. So I have a video on, hey, this is command line, and I kind of try to explain a few things that'll help you get along in it. But that's optional. You don't have to watch that video. In any case, when you do these hands-on labs, you are actually getting into a Windows system. So this is creating, modifying, removing files in Windows, and I'm going to open that. You need to read through this information about what you're going to do, because this is telling you specifically exactly what's happening. Over here, you will see that I have no points out of 30, and these are the three things that I have to do. I have to create files, I have to copy files, and I have to delete files. And there'll be a little button down here that will say check your progress once you've started. So I'm going to start the lab. Now, the annoying thing is you only get an hour. But again, you can go back in and do it again and do it again and do it again. There's nothing stopping you from doing these over and over again. So I'll hit Start Lab, and that's going to create a Windows session. So notice here it started, and now it's like Open Windows VM. That's a virtual machine. So you're going to run Windows in a virtual environment. That's the cool part. This is not a simulation in any way. You are on a Windows computer doing that. They're using VNC to make that connection. This is a Windows computer, and this is dependent then on your internet connection. If you have a very bad internet connection, you are going to run into problem after problem after problem with these. Every student that I've ever had that has had difficulty with these labs has poor internet. They'll go, oh, I got this crazy error and it's like 5 feet long. Look at this error. What does this mean, McBride? And I'm like, don't know, contact them and find out. But usually it's always your internet is just really not fast enough. If that's you, you need to find fast internet. So this is an important thing to understand about this class. You need to have good, reliable internet. And if you don't, you need to go someplace where there is. The videos and the quizzes, no problem. You'll be able to do that on low internet. But when it's time to do one of these labs, it's going to cause you lots of problems, because this doesn't take a ton of horsepower, but it does take some internet horsepower to do. All right, so this is the virtual machine that's running here for me, and it's just ready to go, which is great. I'm going to open that up. I opened two. Okay, so there's File Explorer, and it's like, okay, well, what am I doing? Where are my instructions? Right, so this is what I'm doing. This first thing is I'm going to create files and folders. So I'll jump to that. So it wants us to go to the desktop folder. Then it wants us to go to this PC. Right there on the desktop, this PC. Then I'm going to create a new folder. And in that folder, see, they can see that you're naming it. You can jump in and see how that's happening. And it's going to be called My New Folder, and it's going to be on the desktop. So going back over to what I was doing, so let me click that tab. So I'm going to just jump in here to desktop because it's right there. And I'm going to, there's different ways, right? I can actually, they show me the right click, which I like a lot. I like using that. That's usually what I use. But I can actually create a new folder right here. I'm actually on the system, so it's not looking and recorded the steps, it's looking at the result. What do they call it? My new folder? It does have to be named exactly what they want. I think that's what they wanted. My new folder. All right, so let me actually check progress. And you can also expect that sometimes this won't come through yet. Yeah, check complete. I didn't see, it doesn't think that I've done it yet. But that's okay. We'll move on to the next one and continue our quest. So I hit enter on that. It's all there. And we're going to create a new text document as well. And that new text document will be my new text document. So let me jump back over to VNC. This one I will use a right click and go down to new text document, my new text document. All right, so another thing that's going to be involved in this is that, boy, don't have a space where you shouldn't have a space, that kind of thing. It needs to be named and done exactly the way they want. I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want it to check and let me know that I've gotten some things right. So I hadn't done the second one. So that was probably why it was like, no, you messed up. And now it's like, yeah, see, I got 10 out of 10 points. And I don't have to hit check progress. That's for me. I like to do that. I don't have to do that. I could go through every single step in this, not check the progress at all, and hit end lab, and then it would check everything and see if it's done. All right, so we did that. Text document. Oh, look at that. That's a little video. That's nice. Oh, there's the check my progress. That's the one I was talking about. There's one that's right in line as you read down. Got a check mark on that. So now I can copy and move on. And that's what you do in these labs. If I end the lab right now, I did not complete it successfully, and it's going to tell me that. It always asks for this review. And then it's just going to, kick me out basically. And it's like, okay. All right, so I have got the Linux lab open, and there's something I want to show you. I still have this Windows lab running. Right? It says it's shutting down over here. You really need to make sure that once if you didn't have time to finish a lab or you did finish it, make sure those tabs close. And I have some other tabs open too. And so make sure that those close because it will leave them open and can give you an error and tell you you've already got this open or you already got this other resource going, and it causes people a lot of trouble. Creating and modifying and removing files and folders in Linux. Now, the great thing, I'm just going to go ahead and start the lab so we can see all the features. One of the things they do is they let you copy the stuff straight out of here. Now, that's good and bad because later on, they actually will stop telling you everything that you need to do. Right? I just copied ls instead of typing it. Right, and there's LSL, and I can copy that, and I can right click over here, and I can paste it. Now, the truth is that's really, really quick and easy and fast to do, but you should just look at what they're telling you and say LSA. Okay, so LSA is, you can see hidden files in the current directory. Okay. You should read what they're trying to tell you. I know that sounds silly because it's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be learning it, right? These labs take longer because people just are like, oh, I haven't ever used this stuff, and that is one of the downfalls of the material. They basically have you do 5 different things, and now you're an expert, right? They don't repeat, which is what you would want to do in an educational setting. So there's PWD. But none of this is being scored, right? So none of this is actually part of the assignment. They're just teaching me a little bit about the system, like how to use Linux, right? So they're telling you CD path to other directory. Let's actually copy that one. Watch what happens here. Let's paste that in there. There's no such file or directory, right? So they're trying to tell you, you use the CD command and you use / to separate the path. And that's what they're telling you, path to other directory, right? So all this is educational. And then we've already started the lab. And then this is what they want you to do. And see, I can just take that and I can just paste that right over here. Sweet. Let me do the next one. Sweet, right? I didn't read it. I don't even know what that did, right? Take the time to read it and know what it did, because I'm warning you later on, as you do the last two, especially the last two units, they'll actually not give you all of the steps. So you can't just paste, 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 paste. Oh, sweet, I did everything. I'm done with that. Instead, they'll have you say, okay, now type this, and you can't copy it, and you have to type it in yourself. And that's usually when I get an email. It's like, hey, this isn't working right. This isn't finishing for me. And what I'll do is I'll actually just record a video of me doing it, so that you'll get the idea of, oh, there's things in here that I should actually type instead of just thinking that I copied it.